So people out there these days are fed up and they want something new. What do I mean by that? The economy's bad, the finances are bad, people are struggling. They may not like their jobs. There's a lot of turmoil just in different areas of life. People are unhealthy, they're overweight, they're looking for change, but they don't know where to start. There's a lot of channels out there these days on YouTube talking about the problems. And I've been guilty of doing that myself, just kind of dwelling on all of the problems out there, which there are many, but few are focusing on solutions. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So you made the decision, and I'm kind of talking about myself here when I say this, but I'm talking to the viewer. You made the decision. You felt like you were stuck where you're at. You hit your income wall. You start to look into the future. You think, where am I going to be in 5 years, 10 years if I continue? Is this sustainable to get to where I want to be in life? And a lot of times the answer is no, right? Especially today with how expensive everything is and how much money you really need and how hard it can be to reach those financial goals. So you make the decision that you want to do something new, but you don't know where to start. You don't have a support structure to help you there. So you're kind of out in limbo, right? You're out in the quagmire. You you don't know where to start. Now, the first thing I would say is you need to just search anything. Think about things that you like. Think about any opportunities that you may have had in front, no matter how stupid they might have seemed. I will tell you a story of one of the first entrepreneurial things I ever did. Do you remember those ads? Now, I'm 41 years old, so if you're super young, you're not going to remember these, but people anywhere near my age will remember these ads that would pop up on your old AOL browser or your yellow free yellow browser, whatever, Yahoo, and they were super annoying, and it would say win a LDTV, like whatever, a laptop, whatever, a MacBook. And you know what? It's like one of these days, like one time I clicked it. I finally clicked it. I want to see what this is about, right? And you know what I found out? I got into this underground like layer, like this underground system where it would say, if you got 5 referrals to look at these ads, then you can get a 40-inch TV. Okay. And I was just looking at it and I looked through these ads and I looked through what it all meant. And I was just like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. So I did it. I literally called up. It was actually 10 that I needed, but some of the smaller items were 5, but I wanted a 42-inch TV at the time. And so I called up people that I knew, or I messaged friends, family, just people that I knew. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And I need you to watch these ads, fill out these free trials, make sure you cancel them before they charge you. And you know what? It worked out. I looked at my chart, I looked at my account, I got up to 10. It took a while, it took about 6 weeks, and I got a 42-inch TV sent to me. Now, would I recommend doing this as a long-term source of income? No. But there were people that were doing it. But all I'm saying is that like it struck a little nerve. I was like, you know what? There's things out there that I can do. That's the whole point of what I'm saying here, that story. There are other things that you can do. There's so many different ways. Now, I'm not saying you should, there are scams. You have to make sure you look at what you're doing. But it opened up my mind because so many people are stuck in the wage slave mentality and they're stuck in a box, right? Where we've been told collectively that like you need to just get a job and get a wage, and that's how you make money. And work your way up the ladder, and eventually in your fairy tale land you end up the life of your dreams. I don't think that's how it really works. Now, I'm still on my journey financially, and I'm not giving financial advice at all. I'm talking about anything at all. Now, my specialty is fitness, but I have looked at side hustles and I have a few myself and I've seen them work. And so, all I'm saying though, I don't even want to talk about the individual ones besides that weird freebie TV one. The point is, you're going to not know where to start, but you're going to have there's going to be little like opportunities that creep up. Now, if you don't have any opportunities, you got to go look for them. You have to look for them, and you have to be willing to go and try things out. And guess what? I'm not going to say you might get scammed. Don't invest a bunch of money or something right away like that, but go listen to the presentation. I listened to several like multi-level marketing presentations. I actually am a distributor for one still to this day, and I actually love it, but I'm not here to talk about that. But it's an option. I've started up a Shopify site. You can actually make YouTube videos. There's people on YouTube that make money once you hit a certain you know threshold. There's people on TikTok. There's a TikTok you can make money off a creator, I think, studio on TikTok. I don't have that much followers on TikTok, but I am starting that up myself. But there's also like the TikTok shop, and again, like also I've always been into sales, so I got into selling things at trade shows. There's people I know that like go to yard sales and then resell stuff on eBay. Gary Vee talks about that a lot. But I'm going off on a tangent, but the whole point of it is you're not going to know where to start, but just know that there are a lot of opportunities, especially right now. Okay. And I'm going to switch over to fitness here in a second, but just talking about if you want to make a change in general, do not think for a second that there's not opportunities out there, because there are a ton. And a lot of them may not be glamorous, but guess what? Money is money, right? If you got to sell stuff on eBay and buy something for $5 and sell it for 30 and do that 10 times, are you really going to complain about an extra $250 in your pocket? What could you do with that money, right? So let's say that we go looking at fitness from this perspective as well, right? Now, I went to school for health promotion and wellness and exercise science, got my training certification, all that fun stuff. I know that stuff like the back of my hand. But as someone that has helped a lot of people lose weight and nutrition and fitness with workout plans, etc., I can tell you that there's a lot of people that like they make the decision that they want to lose weight, but they don't know where to start. And so they do something that I think is a big mistake that is primarily made in fitness, and that is they do just make something up. Most people at the gym are just making stuff up. I mean, bravo for going to the gym, but just showing up in a building with a bunch of weight training machines is not going to make you lose weight. Any more than if you just go to the post office and mill around inside of there is not going to make you lose weight. It's just a building, it's just equipment, it's just a stimulus. So I know a lot of people where I'll ask them their plan. That was my like kind of spiel as a personal trainer, is I would go up to people, and of course, yes, I was trying to sell training, but I was also asking questions, get to know people. What is your plan? Well, I don't really have a plan. Okay, well, what's your nutrition like? Well, I don't really have a nutrition plan. Do you count your macros? Do you know how much protein you need? Not really. I just kind of eat healthy. Then you find out they're not eating healthy at all. But I digress. It's like search and you shall find. That's kind of the point of this video. But I want to end it. I don't want to keep it long. And by the way, subscribe and like all that stuff if you like content like this. I'm kind of bumbling over my words, but I promise it'll be better in the future. But people are fed up, and you have to make the decision. Are you going to move, or are you going to sit and do the same thing that you've been doing, which is called insanity, repeating the same thing and expecting a different result? And there's a lot of different options out there, whether it is fitness and health, or businesses, or obviously relationships, going out there, finding new people, networking, etc. And this is all part of what I want to call the unbreakable mindset, where if you make yourself unbreakable by the system, meaning you're financially independent and you don't have to depend on a boss, so to speak, to pay you, because you could lose that job at any given moment. You're physically fit, you know how to work out, or you have someone that can coach you in that manner, then you're going to be physically unbreakable. And bad things happen in life. That's just the way it is. But it's also like we have to want to go out and try new things, which is getting uncomfortable. You hear a lot of times people say, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is a very true, that's a truism, because comfortable is usually where you get stuck. And that's usually where bad things happen, in the comfort zone, because you get really comfortable, you fall into vices, your body starts to get anxious and maybe depressed, because this is the vicious cycle where we started the video. You feel like you want something more, but you don't do anything, and that feeling doesn't go away. So guys, moving forward with the channel, we will be talking about all types of different ways to break out of the matrix, break out from the system, go out, create an unbreakable mindset. And I hope you guys all have a great day and a productive day, and I will see you in the next one.